We're also streaming live on YouTube. That's all. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I would like to extend to you a heartfelt welcome. Mr. Peter Lord, our chairman of the St. Lucia Standards Council, Mrs. Wendy Frederick, our Director of Consumer Affairs, Mr. Bernie Manuel, Director of the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards, Mr. Dylan Norbert Inglis, Director of the RSA, Mrs. Betty Comby, Quality Consultant for Moores Consultancy, members of our Standards Council who should be joining us, hopefully, Ms. Janelle Volney, Sustainable Officer of the Department of Sustainability, specially invited guests, and the members of the media fraternity. Thank you for joining us, and also the staff of the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards. Thank you for joining us. World Standards Day continues to look forward as we share our vision for a better world. But before we set out on our journey, we would like to call on Mrs. Chandler to lead us in prayer.
Psalm 9 verses 7 to 10. The Lord reigns forever. He has established his throne for judgment. He rules the world in righteousness and judges the people with equity. The Lord is a refuge for the oppressed, a stronghold in times of trouble. Those who know your name trust in you, for you, Lord, have never forsaken those who seek you. Let's pray. Dear Heavenly Father, we thank you for your faithfulness in bringing us to another World Standards Day under the theme, A Shared Vision for a Better World. You have demonstrated your faithfulness by guiding the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards towards improving the quality of locally produced goods and services for trade. We thank you for the many partnerships forged with other organizations towards making St. Lucia visible in the world's economy. We thank you for the members of the Council, their collective wisdom in inspiring innovation for exponential growth for the coming years. We thank you for the management and staff of SLBS for their commitment to personal and organizational development. We thank you for what has been accomplished over the last 34 years and look forward with your help to building a grander vision for sustainability that will outshine each succeeding generation. Bless today's proceedings, we pray. In the name of Jesus Christ, your Son. Amen.
Amen to that, Mrs. Chandler. Before we actually remain standing, we'd like to proceed with our national anthem. Thank you very much. To begin our ceremony today on World Standards Day, we would like to have Mr. Emmanuel, the director of the SLBS, give us our opening remarks.
Good morning, everyone. I would definitely like to welcome you to our World Standards Day activity. We recognize our chair, Mr. Peter Lord, members of the Standards Council, specially invited guests, representatives of ministries, Ministry of Commerce, Ministry of Tourism, our National Accreditation Council, Ministry of Agriculture, Helen's Daughters, staff of the SLBS, staff of the RSA, and the media. This year's theme, A Shared Vision for a Better World, builds on a continuing theme for World Standards Day. This year's focus is SDG 17, Partnerships for the Goals. The St. Lucia Bureau of Standards has continued its strategic commitment to advancing our national quality infrastructure, focused on priority sectors which represent our firm commitment to excellence, innovation, and service to the people of St. Lucia. SLBS has fulfilled its mandate over the years and continues to play a pivotal role in ensuring the quality and safety of products and services, fostering consumer confidence, and supporting the growth of local industries. As we stand at the threshold of a new era, we are guided by a clear vision to be a global leader in the advancement of quality infrastructure with certification, regulatory excellence that drives innovation and sustainability. Guided by the Standards Council, our partnerships are designed and assessed according to their ability to enhance SLBS's recognition, reputation, influence, and credibility in international forums, increase the recognition, uptake, and application of international voluntary standards, promote coherence, interoperability, and alignment with international standards, ensure SLBS maintains and remains a standardization leader in enhancing its future readiness and ability to address priority emerging challenges, including sustainability, digitization, and artificial intelligence. We also access the ISO network to participate in and benefit from global collaborative initiatives. Our national standards strategy is focused on healthcare, cosmetics, medical devices, aging societies, and occupational health and safety, with additional support for regional and international harmonization initiatives. As a member of CrossQ, with active participation and leadership in regional standards development towards harmonization for energy efficiency, building codes, tourism, professional engineering, and food labeling standards. We participate in the international standards development in leadership for governance of organizations, which addresses prevention of modern slavery and human trafficking. SLBS, along with the British Standards Institute, through the Commonwealth Standards Network and the Standards Partnership, demonstrate our continued international engagement with local benefits. Initiatives through the ongoing STDF CMOS Value Chain project will enhance quality and export readiness in the local CMOS industry through relevant standards and technical support. Another project is the Codex Trust Fund 2, which seeks to promote the implementation of Codex Alimentarius in St. Lucia to improve food safety, nutrition, and consumer protection. We are grateful to our staff, partners, and stakeholders whose unwavering support and expertise have been instrumental in ensuring that we build a future where standards is not just a measure of quality, but a foundation for progress and prosperity. As we highlight today our partnerships, we would like to thank you for your collective support as we move forward with determination, unity, and a shared commitment to excellence. Thank you.
So, because the theme for World Standards Day this year is partnerships. I shall establish a new partnership for the Master of Ceremony. And so I will call on Mr. Andre Charles. I'll be passing the mantle on to him as our new partner, Master of Ceremony. Mr. Charles.
All right, thank you very much for that, Mr. Bazmi. Good morning to everyone. So just jumping in, thank you very much for that, Mr. Emmanuel. Very good speech on how we see partnerships, how partnerships engage us, and just showing strength to the SDG 17. So moving on, I'd like to welcome Mr. Peter Lord, the chairman, to the podium to give his remarks. Thank you.
Good morning, everybody. The protocol already established. Today, St. Lucia joins the international community to mark World Standards Day under the theme, A Shared Vision for a Better World, a spotlight on the SDG 17, the state's partnerships for goals. This theme is a powerful reminder that standards are not ends in themselves. They are the common language that allows government, businesses, academia, and citizens to collaborate, scale what works, and build trust together. This year's emphasis on partnerships aligns perfectly with the mandate of the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards to develop and promote standards for products and services to protect the health and safety of consumers and the environment, and to support industrial development for the enhancement of our national economy. In short, it is to protect people, enable enterprise, and grow St. Lucia. This is our mandate, and it is goal congruent with the spirit of SDG 17. Standards are often invisible when they work well, but the benefits are visible everywhere. Allow me to highlight the standards are already shaping prosperity across 6 pillars of our economy, and how, by working in partnership, we can go further still. I start with hospitality and tourism. In hospitality, quality is the promise. Standards are the proof. Food safety protocols, water quality benchmarks, electrical and fire safety requirements, environmental and energy management systems. These are the quiet guarantees behind every safe meal, every comfortable room, every safe and enjoyable site and attraction, every enjoyable land and sea tour, and every resilient operation. For hotels, guest houses, creatives, restaurants, and the rapidly growing short stay segment, tour operators, wedding planners, vendors, adopting recognized standards reduces incidents and elevates guest satisfaction, and opens access to discerning markets. As visitor expectations rise, conformity with standards become a competitive edge, not a cost. I urge all businesses in St. Lucia, in the hospitality industry, regardless of size, to participate in the journeys, to adopt CTO's hospitality framework for quality, and to adopt the GSTC criteria for tourism businesses. 2, construction and the built environment. Construction standards are the difference between structures that look good and structures that last. Whether we are discussing cement, steel, electrical installations, plumbing systems, interior decorating, landscaping, or accessibility features, standards reduce rework, prevent failure, and save lives. In a region vulnerable to climate and seismic risks, building to code is not a box-ticking exercise. It is risk management, fiscal prudence, and a moral responsibility all in one. In education and skills, standards in education are about consistency and relevance. Curricular alignment with industry standards ensures that our graduates can do more than just pass exams. They can perform on site, in labs, on factory floors, and in service settings. When TVET programs benchmark to recognize competency standards and institutions adopt quality assurance frameworks, employers hire with confidence, and young St. Lucians transition smoothly from classroom to career. in manufacturing and industry. For manufacturers, from agro-processing to light industry, standards are the passport to markets. Quality management systems, hygienic design, labeling and packaging requirements, and traceability open doors to supermarkets, export buyers, and e-commerce platforms. Standards strengthen productivity, reduce waste, and enable scale. They also de-risk investment. Financiers and insurers view standardized operations as anchorable. Services and the digital economy. In services, financial, professional, logistics, ICT, standards secure data, protect consumers, and streamline processes. Interoperability standards allow systems to talk to each other. Service quality standards reduce complaints and churn. Information security standards safeguard our reputations. As St. Lucia's services economy expands, standards are the scaffolding that supports the growth and preserves trust. In agriculture and food systems, from farm inputs to water testing, to packhouse hygienic and cold chains, standards curb post-harvest losses, improve shelf life, and meet buyer specifications. In a world of stricter import requirements, standards are the bridge between local producers and regional and international markets. That's a bridge we must cross together. Partnership is the hinge on which all of this turns. The World Standards Day theme calls for us to collaborate across borders, sectors, and sectors. Our mandate calls for us to translate that collaboration into tangible national gains. At the Bureau of Standards, we actively pursue this through our core functions: standards development, metrology, conformity assessment, information services, and certification, and through open access to information on compulsory standards and how to comply. These services exist to make it easier for businesses to do the right thing, but also to prove it. The institutions can only take us so far. The final step belongs to you. To our businesses, make your strategy, make quality your strategy and not an afterthought. Join our technical committees. Help shape the standards that shape your markets. Calibrate your instruments. Certify your systems. Train your people. The return on investment is real. Fewer defects, lower costs, stronger brands, and bigger markets. To our educators and students, align curricula to recognize competencies. Seek internships and industry mentorships. Bring the lab and the workplace closer together. To our public sector partners, integrate standards into procurement, inspections, and infrastructure planning. When the state buys, builds, tests, and reports to clear standards, it raises the tide for everyone. To consumers, your choices are your voice. Ask for quality, read labels, report non-compliance, demand the standard, and you will get the market that you deserve. This is our partnership for goals become partnerships for people, for productivity, and for the pride in St. Lucian workmanship. Our vision is straightforward. A St. Lucia where quality is our way of life. In our hotels and guest houses, in our classrooms and clinics, our farms and factories, our ports and platforms, our homes and communities. That vision needs each of us, the regulator and the regulated, the teacher and the trainee, the buyer and the seller, the innovator and the investor, to show up, to learn together, and to build together. As we celebrate World Standards Day 2025, I wish to acknowledge those who make this vision possible. Honorable Prime Minister, we thank you for your historic support for the Bureau of Standards, especially through sustained budgetary commitments that enable us to serve the nation with excellence. Honorable Minister of Commerce, we thank you for your steadfast commitment to developing St. Lucia's national quality infrastructure and championing the enabling environment for SMEs and industry. To our diverse council, for the spirited, enlightening, and productive discussions and decisions. To our Executive Director, we salute your progressive leadership and clarity of purpose. We did not get here by ourselves. So I take this opportunity to salute the past Ministers of Finance and Commerce, the past Executive Directors, the past Council members, the past Heads of Department, the past consultants, and the past staff. But we are here. So I acknowledge our management team and all SLBS staff for your professionalism, diligence, and integrity to make the Bureau a trusted national institution. I also acknowledge the members of our technical committees, volunteers from business, academia, civil society, and government who give their time and expertise so that standards reflect solution realities and global best practice. Our partners across ministries, statutory bodies, chambers, and associations, and regional and international organizations, thank you for collaboration that turns policy into practice. 2 more organizations have joined us on this journey. The Regulated Substance Authority and the Good Practice Movement. We welcome you on board. Above all, our consumers, you have stayed with us on this great journey of national development. Your expectations for safety, reliability, and value keep the entire system honest and ambitious. Friends, standards are not just documents on a shelf. They are agreements on how we're going to treat each other with safety, with fairness, and professionalism. They are maps for small businesses seeking export paths, guardrails for engineers building safer structures, keys for students unlocking careers, assurances for families making everyday choices. On this World Standards Day, let us renew our shared commitment to partner more, to measure better, to comply faster, to improve continually. If and when we do, we will not only meet the world standards, but we will set them in ways that reflect St. Lucia's excellence. Let me repeat that again. Let us renew our shared commitment to partner more, to measure better, to comply faster, to improve continually. If and when we do, not only will meet the world standards, we will set them in ways that reflect St. Lucian excellence. May God bless you and this great land, St. Lucia. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Mr. Chair of the Standards Council. Extremely good remarks brought by him. The key takeaway I have of that is that standards are invisible. When implemented properly, quality is our outcome. I think that is a key area we could hold on to and take forward with us. So again, give him a round of applause for that, please. So moving on into our next segment, we have the Minister's Address from the Honorable Emma Hippolyte. She is the Minister of Commerce, Manufacturing, Business Development, Cooperatives and Consumer Affairs, and that will be shown on video onto our screen.
My fellow St. Lucians, today, 14th October 2025, the government of St. Lucia, through the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards, joins the global community in observing World Standards Day. We do so with a renewed sense of purpose and clarity of vision as we embrace the theme for this year. Shared vision for a better world standards for the SDGs, with a focus on SDG 17, partnerships for the goals. This theme speaks directly to our national development strategy and our aspirations as a small island developing state. Essentially, the SDGs represent an urgent call for action by United Nations member states to improve health and education, reduce inequality, and spur economic growth, while tackling climate change and working to preserve our oceans and forests. As Minister for Commerce, I'm proud to say that St. Lucia has long recognized the intrinsic value of partnership for collective progress. Strategic partnership creates collaborative advantage, often generating outcomes greater than the sum of our individual efforts. A phenomenon also referred to as the partnership delta. In our journey to build a more resilient, sustainable, and competitive economy, partnerships form the foundation of our national quality infrastructure. This infrastructure includes the policies, standards, technical regulations, metrology, accreditation, and conformity assessment services that ensure the safety, quality, and competitiveness of our goods and services. St. Lucia's reality is one of finite resources, yet unbounded human potential. We have used strategic partnerships, whether regional, international, public and private, to build capacity and access the knowledge, expertise, and technological requirements to strengthen our systems and institutions. 1. Building national quality infrastructure through international partnerships. Our partnerships with organizations such as the CARICOM Regional Organization for Standards and Quality, CROSQ, the International Organization for Standardization, the ISO, the International Electrotechnical Commission, the IEC, and the International Trade Center, the ITC, have provided technical support and policy guidance in the development and application of internationally recognized standards. These collaborations have enabled the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards to be a part of the international standardization reality. Nationally, we offer world-class services in testing, certification, training, and inspection, raising the quality of local goods and services and making them more competitive in global markets. 2. Collaborating for capacity building. In recent years, St. Lucia has benefited from development-focused partnership under initiatives such as the 11th EDF Standby Facility for Capacity Building, in partnership with Export St. Lucia and support from the Caribbean Development Bank through the Caribbean Technological Consultancy Services Network. These efforts have equipped micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises with the tools to meet export requirements through improved packaging, labeling, and compliance with international food safety standards. St. Lucia has also been the beneficiary of projects resulting from partnership with the World Trade Organization, the WTO, and the Food and Agriculture Organization, the FAO, through the Standards and Trade Development Fund and the Codex Trust Fund, respectively. These projects are targeted at further engagement and development in key areas of the economy, such as the CMOS value chain and food safety through Codex standards. 3. Public-private partnership for impact. We also recognize the importance of forming local and regional partnerships among government agencies, private sector actors, academia, and civil society. These linkages help to ensure that national policies are informed, inclusive, targeted, and responsive to the needs of all stakeholders. The recently implemented auditor training program for the Ministry of Tourism's, the Jimmy's Award, facilitated by the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards, is a prime example of how partnerships can promote excellence across varied sectors, including tourism, one of our vital economic pillars. In a similar vein, we have also partnered with the Youth Economy Agency, the National Conservation Authority, the Caribbean Center for Renewable Energy and Energy Efficiency, and Export St. Lucia in pursuit of national deliverables. 4, standards supporting the SDGs. Standards are the unseen framework that supports climate resilience, food security, health, energy efficiency, and trade competitiveness. Through strong partnerships, we have aligned our national quality goals with the SDGs, particularly SDG 17, which emphasizes the power of working together. St. Lucia remains committed to advancing the SDGs by ensuring our standards support inclusive and sustainable development and growth. Whether it's through improving agricultural practices, enhancing production qualities, or ensuring radiation safety in medical and industrial practices. Our work is far more impactful when we collaborate. In closing, on this World Standards Day, I encourage all stakeholders, public and private, to continue cultivating and nurturing the partnerships that help shape a quality-driven, innovation-led economy. As we move forward with a shared vision for a better St. Lucia, built on the pillars of quality, trust, and collaboration, let us continue to embrace standards as a catalyst to economic opportunity, growth, and resilience. I take this opportunity to register my sincere gratitude to the many technical committee volunteers, the Standards Council, management and staff of the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards for their continued dedication to operational excellence. May we continue to strive together for a better tomorrow. Together, let us progress. Together, as a country, St. Lucia, let us move forward together.
The Ministry of Commerce maintains representation on the Standards Council, for which I am the rep, ensuring that policy, direction, and implementation remain aligned with national priorities. And this partnership strengthens coordination across agencies and reinforces the integration of industrial development. Through close collaboration with the Commerce and Industry Unit and Export St. Lucia, SLBS plays a pivotal role in preparing local manufacturers for export. By setting, promoting, and enforcing standards, the Bureau helps create the foundation for products that meet international requirements, thereby opening new pathways for trade, investment, and business expansion, just as the Minister reiterated earlier. By ensuring that packaging, labeling, and production processes align with international benchmarks, SLBS enables local producers to confidently access regional and global markets. This partnership ensures that products proudly bearing the label Made in St. Lucia are recognized for quality, reliability, and integrity, strengthening our export competitiveness and enhancing the reputation of St. Lucian brand abroad. Each year during Business Month, the Ministry of Commerce proudly partners with the Bureau to promote awareness on standards, and they have assisted with training the MSMEs within the food and beverage and health and wellness sectors, helping them understand proper health, hygiene, and safety standards. Initiatives such as these empower entrepreneurs to operate confidently, deliver world-class services, and build businesses that reflect the professionalism and quality that defines St. Lucia's growing service economy. These activities encourage businesses to continuously improve quality and efficiency. Standards, of course, they are not barriers. They are stepping stones to excellence, innovation, and economic growth. In tandem with the Consumer Affairs Department, SLBS continues to collaborate in handling recalls and addressing complaints, ensuring that the interests of consumers are always protected. These actions, of course, uphold the ministry's broader commitment to ensuring that every consumer in St. Lucia is treated fairly and protected from unsafe or substandard goods. Beyond product testing and inspection, the SLBS also plays an important role in evaluation for tenders and procurement, assisting the ministry in verifying that goods and services acquired for public use meet required specifications and performance standards. And I always call on Mr. Emmanuel when we have our evaluation committee meetings to help us, and they have been a great help and contributed a lot to the ministry standards when we import our rice, flour, sugar. So the Bureau's technical expertise is definitely vital to the ministry's evaluation and procurement processes. Ultimately, our shared goal is to ensure that every manufacturer, every retailer, every service provider, every business, and every consumer in St. Lucia understands the value of standards. Whether we are producing goods for export, offering beauty services, or monitoring imports at the ports, standards guide us towards quality, reliability, and trust. So the collaboration between the Ministry of Commerce and the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards is therefore not just administrative, it is strategic. It is about fostering a culture of excellence, safeguarding consumer welfare, and building a resilient economy grounded in quality and integrity. As we commemorate World Standards Day, let us reaffirm our commitment to uphold and promote standards and quality in every aspect of our national life as we continue to strengthen the partnership between the ministry, SLBS, and the private sector, because together we can ensure that Made in St. Lucia continues to stand for quality, safety, and trust. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Ms. Frederick, and stepping in with an adjustment to our agenda. Again, that strategic partnership she spoke of between the Ministry of Commerce, Inherent Consumer Affairs, and the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards is so critical. One of the things I just want to note is that out of that, in terms of consumer affairs, one of the main reasons standards exist is really customers, achieve quality to customers. And every single one of us in this room is a customer in one way or the next. So we're saying that I'd like to move forward to a service-based organization. So I'd like to welcome to the podium Ms. Priska Simon of the Community Tourism Agency. Give her a round of applause.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
All right, wonderful. I like that standard. We respond, and that partnership as well. It's a pleasure to be here today, and I bring warm greetings on behalf of the Community Tourism Agency. I wish to express sincere thanks to the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards for inviting us to participate in this year's World Standard Day under the inspiring theme, as we've heard before, Shared Vision for a Better World, with the spotlight on Sustainable SDG 17, which is Partnership for Goals. It is both an honor and a privilege to share how the CTA and SLBS have been working hand in hand to support sustainable development through community-based tourism. The Community Tourism Agency was established to strengthen the link between communities and the tourism sector, ensuring that local people are not just bystanders, but are active participants, custodians of the culture, and true beneficiaries of the tourism economy. Our mandate is to empower communities, support local enterprises, build capacity, and ensure that the tourism development aligns with national standards and global best practices. Partnerships, especially with institutions like the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards, are central to achieving these goals. Partnerships for the Goals reminds us that no single entity can achieve sustainable development alone. Standards provide a shared framework that allows agencies like ours to collaborate meaningfully with both the public and private sectors. More community tourism enterprises are now recognizing the importance of public liability insurance, ensuring that safety and accountability remain at the heart of their operations. Through our partnership with the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards, we ensure that community tourism initiatives meet quality benchmarks, enhance visitor experiences, and strengthen the overall credibility of St. Lucia's tourism product. This alignment goes beyond technical compliance. It's transformational. It builds trust, sparks innovation, and creates space for truly inclusive growth. There are some key areas of our collaboration with the Bureau of Standards. One, the development of standards for community-based tourism enterprises. Together, we have adapted and promoted standards for vendors, tour guides, and small community enterprises in accommodation, food and beverage, and recreation. These standards strengthen health, safety, and service quality, all key ingredients for visitor confidence and experiences. Two, training and capacity building. Through joint workshops and technical sessions, of course headed by Mr. Charles, the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards has supported CTA in helping community entrepreneurs understand not only what the standards are, but why they matter. This empowers them to apply best practices in daily operations. Three, certification and recognition initiatives. The CTA has introduced a certification program that recognizes community tourism enterprises meeting established national standards. The CTA endorsement program serves as a powerful incentive for our business partners to continuously improve and take pride in delivering exceptional experiences. 4, sustainable product development. In line with SDG 12, which is responsible consumption and production, the St. Lucia Bureau standards have guided communities on waste management, eco-friendly materials, and sustainable practices within tourism operations. Our success stories at the agency. The CTA today boasts over 40 business partners who benefit from our business development and operational management toolkit, built on SLBS developed tourism standards. Many have completed our basic certification program, and we now have over 30 certified first aiders across our communities, tangible proof of capacity being built. These collaborations are making a real difference on the ground. Communities now recognize the role of standards in improving their businesses. Visitors enjoy safer, more consistent experiences, strengthening St. Lucia's tourism brand. Local enterprises are better equipped to compete and innovate. And importantly, this partnership is bridging the gap between policy and practice, ensuring tourism's benefits reach people in real, tangible ways. As we look ahead, the Community Tourism Agency is excited to deepen this partnership with the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards. We envision expanded training programs, greater certification uptake, and new standards that reflect both global best practices and local identity. Together, we are demonstrating how partnerships drive sustainable development, empower communities, and uphold the highest standards of excellence. On behalf of the Community Tourism Agency, I would like to sincerely thank the SLBS once again for this platform and its continued support. As we move forward, let's continue forging strong partnerships that empower communities and move St. Lucia forward together. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Ms. Simon. Again, the importance of community tourism, the importance of that partnership she spoke so well about, how it's vital to graduating that community tourism product, and to ensure really nobody is left behind in one of our center industries or mainstay industries of St. Lucia. So I'd like to move forward to invite to the podium Mr. Dylan Norbert Inglis. He's the CEO of the Regulated Substances Authority. Thank you.
Valued stakeholders, important governmental and non-governmental entities, partners. The mandate of the RSA is not known to many, so let me briefly inform you. The RSA has been tasked with the review of the status quo relevant to substances deemed regulated substances, and indeed some other relevant substances: cannabis, radioactive sources and radiation-emitting devices, alcohol, hydrocarbons, which include petroleum, explosives, which include fireworks, pesticides, toxic and hazardous substances. The partnership with the SLBS is not limited to packages and labels for these products. It is not merely the manufacturing products and processes for the manufacturing of these products, and starts well before that, even in the current review and development of the regimes for these regulated substances. In the case of cannabis, this partnership ensures that the regime is on par with accepted international standards. In an administration that permits 30 grams of personal possession, we through standards can establish mechanisms to speak to with certainty to the amount of product that someone has. Standard ensures that the patient can rely on this with certainty on the potency in that product. And beyond cannabis, without standards, we can see with certainty that the shielding in a wall between an X-ray machine and the waiting area is sufficient to protect the staff and the public. Standards ensure that the quality and quantity of purchased petroleum in all of our vehicles is what we expect. Of pesticides, standards ensure that the product and the practices do not allow for dangerous results from misuse. From industry examination, regime development, and even regulation and policing, standards serve as the backbone to our efforts. Without standards, we have compromised safety, we have no certainty, we have limited success. Safety, certainty, and success, incidentally, the motto of the RSA. The mandate of the RSA is not possible without the efforts and work of the SLBS. I wish to go further to state that the mandate of each and every entity represented here today is not possible without standards and the efforts of the SLBS. On behalf of the RSA, I wish to thank the SLBS for its often thankless work. We are and can be because you are. It is our hope that your open-armed policy and collaborative standards development encourages all of us in turn to forge our own collaborations and to partner together for our nation's safety, for certainty, and for success. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Norbert Inglis. And again, for persons who are not aware of the RSC or the Regulated Substances Authority and the part of what they do, as Dylan just gave in their mandate. It's quite extensive and continuously will be growing. And again, we expect that partnership to continue, where they will be utilizing our standards to strengthen that the regulation of substances within St. Lucia. So let's just bring it back for a second to another mainstay part of the economy. We just heard from Ms. Priska Simon on community tourism. We are now going to bring it across to Mrs. Gillian King Portland of the Ministry of Tourism for tourism nationally around the island. So to the podium, welcome Mrs. Portland.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. The protocol having been established, happy will stand next day.
Thank you.
In keeping with efforts to advance the Sustainable Development Goals, the Ministry continues to strengthen its partnership with the St. Lucia Bureau Standards to protect the health and safety of visitors and operators, and to ensure fairness and consistency. Guided by a memorandum of understanding, this partnership takes a holistic approach that supports compliance, quality assurance, and continuous improvement across the country. The Ministry of Tourism, serving as chair of the Tourism Committee, plays a leading role in guiding the development, review, and adoption of various tourism standards. These include standards for accommodation, ground transportation, car rentals, sites and attractions, as well as sustainable tourism standards covering areas such as pest management, energy use, and waste management standards, to name a few. At a regional and international level, the Ministry of Tourism, through the St. Lucia Bureau Standards, supports St. Lucia participation in harmonizing tourism standards through CARICOM Regional Tourism Committee and the International Organization Standards Technical Committee on Tourism and Related Services. Recognizing the diverse nature of the tourism sector, the Ministry fulfills its mandate to the Tourism Development Act No. 1 of 2024 and its regulations. This framework, grounded in tourism standards, ensure that operators comply with the requirements for operation and the delivery of safe and exceptional service. To further encourage compliance, the Ministry's initiated program offers import duty, excise tax, and waiver on alternative energy devices to assist operators where needed, helping promote sustainable energy use and economic growth. Complementing these efforts, St. Lucia is the first CARICOM member state to embed a national tourism certification program with its tourism-led legislation. This model is now being adopted by another member state seeking to achieve a similar outcome. To date, the program has developed 3 types of certification: the Tourism Operator Certificate, the Conditional Tourism Operator Certificate, and the Sustainable Tourism Operator Certificate. Certification represents a structured, credible system that assures quality and credibility within St. Lucia's tourism industry and builds confidence among visitors and operators. As of September 2025, more than 100 operators have met the minimum requirements and have obtained certification, demonstrating their commitment to delivering reliable and sustainable tourism experiences. Standards offer structure, accountability, and consistency, ensuring that St. Lucia continues to deliver a tourism product that meets national, regional, and international guidelines while protecting the environment and supporting livelihoods. Imagine for a moment there were no standards. What would that be like? You walking into a hotel infested with cockroaches or rodents, and there's no one to report it to. No recourse. Thank goodness for standards and certification. Let's move on. Building on these efforts, the ministry's initiatives align closely with several sustainable development goals, with several including but not limited to the SDG 7, affordable and clean energy, SDG 8, decent work and economic growth, SDG 9, industry, innovation and infrastructure, and SDG 11, sustainable cities and communities. As we continue to advance the SDG goals, the ministry and the SLBS remains united in strengthening standards and promoting excellence for a better St. Lucia. Together, we are building a future where quality, innovation, and sustainability define St. Lucia's progress. I thank you.
Thank you very much for that, Mrs. Portland. So I've heard about incentives. Now I know what to do to get into the tourism industry, how to get in well, via the incentive program, via the energy efficiency incentives and tax incentives, etc. So let's press on. Moving on to the Department of Sustainable Development, Ms. Janelle Vorney. It's going to be a video presentation, so we need to dim the lights again.
Janelle Volney, Department of Sustainable Development. The Department of Sustainable Development plays the role of focal point for transforming our world Agenda 2030 and the 17 Sustainable Development Goals. The mission of the department is to facilitate work when it comes to sustainable development in science and technology, environmental science, climate change, and other related matters towards sustainable development. The Department of Sustainable Development focuses on the Environment Sustainable Development Goals, which are Sustainable Development Goal 12, Responsible Consumption and Production, Sustainable Development Goal 13, which is Climate Action, Sustainable Development Goal number 14, which is Life Underwater, and of course, Sustainable Development Goal 17, which is very important to all, which is Partnership for the Goals. We have worked with the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards for many years in this area when it comes to environmental management, and some of the work that we have done over the years is with putting together an enabling environment for environmental sustainability in St. Lucia. We have two legislations that the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards has assisted us and supported us technically over the years. One being the Montreal Protocol on substances that deplete the ozone layer and its regulations. This legislation manages ozone depleting substances, the imports, exports, and use through licenses, quotas, and enforcement. The St. Lucia Bureau of Standards has adopted a code of practice for refrigerant and refrigerant systems to ensure that refrigerant technicians are using the refrigeration systems properly, handling, installation, operation, maintenance, transport, and storage of those refrigerant and refrigerant systems. The St. Lucia Bureau of Standards also assists us with the Styrofoam and Plastic Food Service Containers Prohibition Act number 22 of 2019. This act ensures that we reduce single-use plastic in St. Lucia. Therefore, it bans the use, manufacturing, distribution, sale of all styrofoam or polystyrene food service containers and selected single-use plastic food service containers. The Department of Sustainable Development does assist stakeholders in the importation of alternatives to single-use plastic in St. Lucia. So therefore we provide concessions, which is 0% import duties on the importation of those alternatives to plastic, such as compostable, plant-based, or biodegradable food service containers. The St. Lucia Bureau of Standards also assists us in ensuring that all biodegradable, compostable, or plant-based food service containers that is imported into St. Lucia is inspected and is truly biodegradable and environmentally friendly. We continue to work with the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards when it comes to climate change and climate resilience. Although we do not have climate change standards in St. Lucia, the building and construction community does use climate resilient standards in their design and infrastructural work. We will be partnering with the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards in future initiatives such as biodiversity and the Access and Benefit Sharing Project, whereby any product that is produced from our natural environment, such as the animals or plants, does have fair access and benefit and standards for the use of those items. We support the development and adoption of standards in St. Lucia. We would like to continue partnership and coordination with the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards. We would like from the Department of Sustainable Development, Happy World Standards Day.
I'm going to say thank you directly to Ms. Ball because she's very
Ms. Ball may take a bow.
Presentation. And just moving on, thank you very much for that. We have a few other video presentations that we will be moving directly through. I will just state them. From Morse Consultancy, this is Betty Comby, who is here with us today. From the National Accreditation Council, we have Dr. Alison Yojada Foster, also here with us today. From the Department of Fisheries, we have Mr. Bon Serri, who's not with us today. We have from Helen's Daughters, Mrs. Keitling Karu Ifrika.
I am Betty Comby, Managing Director of Moz Inc., located at Caroline. First of all, let's talk about what I'm into, which is quality management. And quality management is almost a base for almost all of the SDGs, because quality management is a systematic approach to achieving the objective with a focus on customer satisfaction. So it's a base for most of the SDGs. However, in my case, I targeted for SDG 4, which is quality education. Quality management is a powerful empowerment tool, without a doubt. I also target SDG 8, which talks to economic growth, because quality management is known as business common sense. Another SDG that I target is SDG 16, and 16 talks to strong institutions and institutions that are effective and accountable, and quality management promotes effectiveness and efficiency. And the final SDG I'd say I target, that Moz targets, is the partnership. The partnership for the goals. Moz believes in collaboration. If you understand that it's about customer satisfaction, then customer satisfaction requires consistency and continuity in the absence of any one person. And so you need to be able to deliver whether or not you are available. And so partnership allows for that. Not to mention that the partnership also allows for an enhanced value to the customer, and that enhances customer satisfaction. A number of interactions with the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards. First of all, I sit on one of the technical committees. That's TC18. And so we involve in the review of international standards like quality management, project management, risk management, and so on. Other collaborative efforts with the Bureau of Standards has been for instance, in 2022 to 2023, we did a collaboration to sensitize the region on quality management. So the collaboration was with Moores Inc., Quality Plus Consultants of Trinidad and Tobago, the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards, the National Competitiveness and Productivity Council, as well as in one of the webinars, we collaborated with CARICAD, located in Barbados. Another collaboration, well, a very recent collaboration, was in Barbados, where the Bureau was one of the collaborators with Moores Inc., as well as with UETV and Mark of Excellence, these two organizations located in Barbados. And it was again promoting quality management, but via the Roseback tool, which I promote in my book. And so we must say something about the good. That was another collaboration, another partnership we have done with the Bureau. Is coming out of the technical committee was a group known as the Good Practice Movement. And that group is ongoing. And from the beginning, from the onset, the Bureau has been supporting the Good Practice Movement. And this is a movement that is promoting continuous improvement via the use of tools and techniques and best practices, standards included, and other good practices. Sustainable development is our business, and what we're looking is for a network of people who are exchanging information, sharing information. So they're sharing lessons learned, they're sharing issues, they're sharing successes, so that as you do your work, you have this background information you can work with. Nobody's starting from scratch, right? Well, without a doubt, the first one would be the quality management standards, and that is the ISO 9000 series. Specifically, the 9001 standard, ISO 9001, which talks to the quality management system requirements, and ISO 9004, which talks about sustained success for any organization. Now, because quality management is so closely related to project management, I also reference the project management standards, and that is the ISO 21500 series. And the last standard, which is a must, is as a management consultant, there is a standard for management consultancy, and so that is the 20700 standard. I reference that standard as well, as far as my business is concerned. I believe in partnerships. I really believe, and I'm happy that this is the stress on World Standards Day, that partnership. I think anybody who is about delivering consistently and ensuring continuity in the delivery to the customer, as well as value to the customer, you need to think of collaboration. Collaboration allows you to bring a lot more to the table, a lot more uniqueness to the table. So on this World Standards Day, I say congratulations to the Bureau for all the collaboration we have done in the past, and just looking forward to a lot more further collaboration, not just with the Bureau, but with different organizations.
I am Dr. Alison Gajada Foster, Chairperson of the National Accreditation Council in St. Lucia. Accreditation is a key function to assist member states, countries throughout the world to achieve the Sustainable Development Goals. Specifically, it's related to SDG 4, which is aiming to ensure that not just education, but quality education is accessible to all by 2030. And so the Accreditation Council provides that assurance mechanism, which is also incidentally linked to SDG 16, which is aimed at developing trust in organizations to give that independent assurance that all tertiary training institutions, and we're speaking of post-secondary school institutions that are providing courses to our people, indeed provided in a manner that is robust and meets all the necessary governance and quality management standards, and that the qualifications that they confer on individuals is one that is equivalent to and recognized throughout the world. And so we need to utilize standards for that purpose. In fact, another set of goals that are related to and which we are integrally involved with are the goals related to ensuring, the SDG goals related to ensuring access to decent work with dignity, and that is 9. And also, or 8 rather, and 9. 9 is in relation to ensuring that our economy has a suitable workforce, adequately skilled to contribute to industry, to innovation. And so in all, I would say there are 5 goals, because I didn't even mention the actual goal 17, which is by virtue of what we do, utilizing standards, international standards. We need to be in partnership with organizations like the Bureau, the national standards bodies, as well as other international associations that deal with program standards for program accreditation, and also educational institutional standards. You may or may not recall that about 3 years ago, when the program, the National Accreditation Program, was first launched, that launch was held in the conference room. It was a pre-launch of the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards. That was before we launched the actual accreditation system a year following. And so from day one, we have been engaging with the Bureau of Standards, particularly to discuss how can we maximize our synergies with regards to developing standards. So for the Accreditation Council, at this time, as it relates to international standards published by one of the 3 institutions that, of course, organize World Standards Day celebrations, we work a lot with the management system standards and governance standards. And these are the standards published by ISO TC 176 related to management for quality, and ISO 309 related to governance systems standards.
Hi, my name is Bon Serrier. I'm the aquaculturist at the Fisheries Department in the Ministry of Agriculture. CMOS farming in recent years has demonstrated its ability to significantly improve the socio-economic conditions of rural households in St. Lucia. As a result, it is important to put measures in place to ensure that this activity remains economically viable and environmentally sustainable. One such initiative is the development of industry-specific standards for CMOS farming being undertaken by the Department of Fisheries in collaboration with the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards. As part of this process, 64 CMOS farmers have been trained in the development of standard operating procedures and food safety practices and principles. Improving standards is anticipated that CMOS farmers will be able to access new markets by producing products that are safe for consumption and complying with local and international regulations. These outcomes would align with the UN Sustainable Goal number 14 of life underwater, number 1, reduction of poverty, number 3, good health and well-being, and number 12, responsible consumption and production. The Department of Fisheries looks forward to continuing its collaboration with the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards to ensure that CMOS farming in St. Lucia remains a viable activity for farmers. We had a collaboration with the Bureau of Standards in developing a TVET standard, a technical vocational standard for sustainable CMOS production, and that I think was done in 2014. So yes, we've had prior collaborations with the Bureau of Standards in that regard.
Hi everyone, my name is Keithlyn Karua Frifa and I'm the Executive Director of Helen's Daughters. Helen's Daughters is a non-profit organization whose primary focus is to transform how Caribbean women lead in food and farming. And that is in three main pillars. Training and capacity development is one of them. So from what we've mostly been known for, our Ag Academies, which run annually across 3 Caribbean countries, St. Lucia, St. Kitts and Nevis, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines, along with a number of our practical field visits and so forth. Market access is another one. We're mostly visible for our farmers markets, but we're also responsible for brokering relationships with hotels, restaurants, and so forth. So evidence of this is our partnership with Four Seasons Nevis, or even when you look at the menus at Big Chef Steakhouse, for example, or our partnership with Project Chocolat, and finally a structured care program. At Helen's Daughters, our work directly supports SDGs 2, 5, 13, and 17, zero hunger, gender equality, climate action, and partnerships for the goals. The partnership with the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards recently happened and we're extremely excited. They supported us at our unconference on agriculture, opening the world of national standards to not just our members but to the public, with over 300 persons coming into our conference on agriculture. I think it opened up people's eyes into the processes of the Bureau of Standards, along with what they themselves can implement in their agribusinesses. Aside from that, we're really excited about our Farmers Market Incubator. So this weekend, actually, SLBS will be coming over to our Farmers Market to do a pop-in inspection on the ladies that are registered in the incubator, meaning that they'll be able to actually see in real time the labels, the standards, the processes, and even some of the information that is given to consumers. What's going to be followed up next is actually 2 intensive sessions with the Bureau of Standards where they can actually assess and provide feedback on each and every label and product that is inducted into the incubator. That way we can then proceed in taking that information and revamping close to 30 women with new labels, and of course, most importantly, standardized labels. Standards are everything to us, and that shows from our leadership. Even on our board, we have a former Vice President of Food Safety who was previously at Crafts and Kellogg's, and that also influences our training programs. Food safety has been part of our academy from day one. The Good Agricultural Practices program, not only in St. Lucia but across the region, has also been a blueprint for us in how we map out our training programs, particularly the Ag Academy. So much so that it is now a national substitute for the GAP program in St. Lucia, and that's been vetted by the Ministry of Agriculture. Of course, we look at national standardized policies along with HACCP procedures for our export-ready women and so forth. As an organization that not only prioritizes the quality of our products, we're also prioritizing the health and well-being of our people. This is why we always aim to strengthen the trust in St. Lucian-made agricultural products by ensuring and prioritizing that each and every product that comes out of Helen's Daughters is of a standard. So for example, the labeling of standards such as SLNS 1, 2, and 3, or even prepackaged foods, SLNS Part 1, Part 3, and of course the general principles for food hygiene, SLCP 1, are a paramount part of our organization. At Helen's Daughters, we are truly excited about the partnership with the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards, And of course, observing SDG 17, this partnership is Partnerships for Development and Partnerships for the Goals. So we're wishing everyone a very happy World Standards Day, and here's to a safer, healthier St. Lucia through partnerships.
Thank you very much for that to the presenters. And let's just recognize the presenters who, although they gave us video, who are in the room today. So once again, Mrs. Betty Comby, Ms. Janelle and to those not in the room today, Mr. Von Seri and Mrs. Keithlin Carew and Cooper. Again, thanks for the information and the way we have the partnerships and we share with your organizations. So moving on to the end of this ceremony today, I will be giving the closing remarks. Fair enough. So again, distinguished guests, partners, colleagues, and friends, as we close today's World Standards Day ceremony, I extend sincere thanks on behalf of the St. Lucia Bureau of Standards to each of you for being part of this important observance under the theme of SDG 17, Partnerships for the Goals. This year's theme serves as a timely reminder that standards are not just built in isolation, as we could see through our partnerships, but they are the product of collaboration, shared knowledge, and mutual commitment across sectors. So today's presentations truly reflect that spirit. We began with an inspiring address by the Honorable Emma Hippolyte, Minister of Commerce, Manufacturing, Business Development, Cooperatives, and Consumer Affairs, large portfolio, whose leadership continues to champion the value of standards and partnerships in national development. We are also very grateful for all the partners, all the presenters here today. I will not go through them by name, but in fact I shall. Ms. Wendy Frederick from the Ministry of Commerce for highlighting the importance of protecting and empowering commerce in St. Lucia. Ms. Priska Simon from the Community Tourism Agency, who reminded us the importance of community engagement and how standards can enrich the tourism experiences. To Mr. Dylan Norbert Inglis of the Regulated Substances Authority for underlining the need and the importance of the RSA in improving the public health in St. Lucia and the importance as we go forward with his organization. To Mrs. Gillian King Portland, a partner just like Ms. Simon in many ways of sitting on our technical committees, both nationally and regionally. From the Ministry of Tourism of Gillian, she's showing how partnerships enhance this destination credibility and service quality that we get within a mainstay economy of ours. And to Ms. Janelle Borley, Mrs. Betty Comby, Dr. Alison Lijada-Forster, all of you, although you're provided in the video, you all looked at the sustainability of the standards, quality, and the robust quality systems through Mrs. Comby, and the need for the National Accreditation Council moving forward, improving and driving excellence in St. Lucia via Dr. Lijada-Forster. To Mr. Von Seri, with the importance, of sustainability in the fishery sector through seamoss farming, and how that is impacting not just the partnership, but sustainability and improving livelihoods in rural areas. And to Mrs. Keithlin Carew Africa, I got that better this time, Helen's daughters, the impactful role of women in rural partnerships and moving women forward, and there's that focus on gender in her project, moving women forward as significant partners in our economy and improving livelihoods there also. In the end, I will say, each speaker and contributor brought forward an important piece of our partnership puzzle of how standards touch our everyday lives and how collaboration is the outcome for our success. As we see in our standards development process, we always utilize partners from varying areas of the economy of the society. Academia, industry, public, private, and consumers themselves. So finally, as we reflect on today's discussion, let's carry forward this message that standards unite us across industries, across communities, across borders, and partnerships are not optional, they are essential. And as Mr. Lord said earlier, I'll repeat this, partnerships are not optional, they are essential. So thank you very much once again for your presence, your participation, and most importantly, your partnership. And we look forward to continuing that journey with you. Thank you very much. Happy World Standards Day to everyone. Thank you for being here.